Hey, welcome. Call and Profit. Real estate and then some. The place where we teach you how to get away from that rental, how to get your own, paying for your own stuff to help you situated to get out of throwing your money away when you do rentals. My name is Carlton Profit, licensed realtor, been one for over close to 20 years now, licensed in Maryland, DC, Virginia, Arizona, California. If I, chances are I'm probably licensed there. If I'm not licensed there, I have plenty of people I know that's on the ground that can be able to take care of you. Um, this is a real estate podcast, but at the same time, we also talk about, social issues. Could be relationships, job preparedness, what to do during COVID or whatever. So I always have a good group of panel with me. Today I have Mr. Roman Crispin. I'll let him tell you who he is and what he does. And always joined by the lovely Miss Jones. Matter of fact, I'm going to start with Miss Jones because I was taught ladies go first. Therefore, Miss Jones, you have the floor. Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
Good evening. Okay, thank you, Carlton. Good evening, everyone. I'm Miss Jones. I'm a healthcare provider and worker. Been working in the field for 13 years. Also a social worker. Also a counselor. A mother of two. Got a lot of tricks on my bag, but
That's what's
mainly
up.
healthcare is my field. Yes.
Cool. And Mr. Crispin.
Roman Crispin here, 30 plus years in the executive private industry in corporate America, and I guess lifelong friend of Mr. Carlton Profit.
I want to say lifelong. I'm saying now, Roman's a good friend of mine. We've been talking about each other for year. I ain't gonna tell you how many years, but it didn't seem right for me to be able. This like my right hand dude, So, but he's like a thorn, So he's always ribbing, I'll say stuff to defend myself every now and then, but it's always him,
Me?
Exactly.
Never.
Anyway, since it's Black History Month, as we move right on here, what we always do is a Black History fact every time we do a podcast. The podcast is every Wednesday from 7 to 8. Catch it anywhere you watch your podcast out. I'll send it out to you if you need to. I always start out with a Black History fact. Today we're talking about W.E.B. Du Bois. W.E.B. Du Bois, one of the first Black men to graduate from Harvard University, 1910. Believed in the talented tenth. He always knew that he thought the way for Black people to come out of slavery was to be as educated as they could. And so therefore, him being educated himself, he felt that was the best way for us to do it. Whereas the other people against him thought another way. They was going for the more manual training stuff. Get yourself a skill, a trade. That way we can get money and then go into the educational system. And so, but he had a couple of books. Best known one is The Waves of White Folks. Great reading if anybody ever wants to read it. The Waves of White Folks, W.E.B. Du Bois. Harlem Renaissance guy. You can't mention his name without knowing about the Renaissance. Even had a hand in creating or one of the co-founders of the NAACP as well. Great man. So W.E.B. Du Bois, y'all.
Hello, I'm the lovely Miss Jones, co-host of Real Estate and Then Some. Come join us every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on urbansmartnetwork.com.
Events are a great way for our members to connect, whether in person or virtually, at a designated time and place. Sign up to urbansmartnetwork.com and use our events feature to let others know about upcoming meetups, concerts, parties, conferences, or gatherings. With our one-click social media feature, you can invite anyone to an event, even people who haven't yet joined our network. Become an Urban Smart Network event creator today. It's absolutely free, only on urbansmartnetwork.com.
So as we get into the real estate component of this, the thing we're going to talk about today is buying a house sight unseen. By sight unseen, I mean you're looking at a house, you're trying to buy one. You don't go through the normal way of actually, going to see the house. You just going by the specs. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet, located here. I like it. I'll write up an offer and send it to the client, send it to the realtor without even having to see it. Okay. The question was, because, why would somebody be able to do that? And so I just happened to go through this myself. I had a client, first-time home buyer, who didn't feel comfortable doing it in that situation. I explained to her that the market in the Washington D.C. area is super competitive right now. How to stay on the market for hours, not days, hours. So you have to be able to get ahead of the competition that's out there. And so her having never gone through it, sometimes some people need to be reminded. You have to see how fast it comes. We had looked for at a house or two that she didn't like, but then we seen one that she really loved. It just came on the market that morning. It's about 10:30, 11 o'clock when we're looking at it. So we're one of the first ones to look at it. And we get out of there, and by 11 o'clock, she's like, let's write it up. I don't even want to see no more houses. I want this house. Let's write it up. So I went, I already had a copy of it. I figured she was going to like something. So I had half of the contract filled out already, and just knew that we was going to go with one. Filled it out and sent it to the realtor. While I was sending it to her, it's always a good idea for you to call the listing agent and let them know that, hey, you got an offer coming, because it might go to his spam or someplace like that. And it's also time for me to get a little information that they might not share. So I called the agents like, hey, I got an offer coming to blah, blah, blah. I know it, since it's the first day on the market, you really got to go full price. There's no really other way to go about it. But in this market, it's going to require a little bit above. And so before I can even get my strategy out of what we was going to do and how good my client is, he said, oh, I already have accepted an offer. And so I said, accepted the offer already? He said, yeah. I said, when did the house come on the market? I know it came on that morning. I just wanted him to say it. He said it came on at like 8:30 this morning. I said, wow. I said, well, it's what, 11 o'clock? You're not taking no more offers? He said, I got a cash offer for $25,000 over list price. Sight unseen. You can't beat that. So he took it because cash offer means less closing costs. Anytime you pay for a property and you're using cash, there's very little closing costs. Closing costs usually runs you 2 to 2.5% of the purchase price. You know what I'm saying? So times the house by the purchase price, that's how much closing costs. Cash, 95% of that goes away. You know what I'm saying? So people rather deal with cash because it helps out the seller as well. So
and they don't have to claim some of it.
Exactly.
Right.
So as a result of that, she lost, and then we went do a couple more situations like that. When then she realized that, hey, if I put an offer, I got to do the exact thing that investor guy that bought the house that she wanted. You got to put it in ahead of time. You do have a little bit of a protection, whereas if you don't like it, you can always go back and say you can have a home inspected, because depending on the state you are, you get between a week or 2 weeks, depending on what state now, to go through the whole house with a crew, by a home inspector, find out everything that's wrong, and then they give them opportunity to fix what's wrong. And if you didn't like it, you can always get your money back. Say, no, I don't want to go through with it, and then you cancel. Your contract comes back to you. So that's so it's not finding something I don't like. You just don't want no other competition. So you want him to do like that seller did, automatically accept it. And that's what he did. Me personally, as a seller, I would have created an auction-like environment. I would have put it lower and got higher and higher bids. But either way, he did well. He got $25,000 over the list price for his clients. And so she saw that she had to put it in a sight unseen. That's the only way she going to get a house. Matter of fact, we still haven't found anything, because then this area is super competitive right now. Super. Like I said, houses, there's a shortage of houses around the country, and you got low interest rates. And as a result of that, you get a whole lot of competition. I'm talking about 15 to 20 people on each listing that you see, or offers on each listing, and the average price right now going, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or more over list price. And they also waiving contingencies. Like, a contingency is saying, I'm going to take care of something before it has to be done. Well, a contingency, you can have an inspection contingency, and they was waiving that. They have another contingency where it's appraisal, where the bank comes in and says it's worth a certain amount of money, and they're waiving that. Say, I don't care what the bank comes in and say. If the bank comes out and says it's worth less, I'll pay more. But in a cash deal, there's no such thing as an appraisal, because your cash is the appraisal. Okay, the money becomes, when you buy stuff with cash, it's instant equity. It's already in the house. You know what I'm saying? So if you put $50,000 down, you got minimum $50,000 in your house. Okay, that's the tip for today. My question though is I think Roman is the real estate man. Roman's actually been in real estate longer than me, and so I know his portfolio. I sold him his house and things of that nature. I'm the best realtor he's ever had, although I know he's had 4 or 5 others. But would you? I know. Would you ever buy a house, sight and seeing, if you have, or and same thing with you, Miss Jones?
Yeah, I have actually. So I bought a couple home sight unseen and investment properties, where I was working with a realtor in Baltimore, and she would call me because this was back in mid 2000 when the right in the peak of the boom, the real estate boom. And I was in the process of being the Black Donald Trump. Back then, he wasn't as hated as he is now, but owning real estate properties. And I had come across a couple of properties I was trying to purchase, but to your point, to your example, I was falling short. I kept coming up too late, with my offers. So my family and I went on vacation one time, and the real estate agent called me while I was we were on vacation, and said, "Hey, Roman, I got this property. This is exactly what you're looking for. But you're gonna have to trust me. Do you want me to put a contract on it?" I said, "Yes." "How much above do you want me to go?" I gave it a number. She did it. I won it, and then when I returned from vacation, I looked at it afterwards. So the contract was made.
Let me ask you a question. Before you come back with Adam, Miss Jones, did you feel that you had to, what's your name, convince your other half to go with that, or she was along the same thing? I know sometimes.
She was, yeah. That was, so it was funny because prior to going on vacation, or the last offer we lost because I was too late in making the offer, my significant other and my the real estate agent, we kind of developed a plan in advance. Good. This is what we might have to do in order to get the property that we need. So we kind of set the parameters. If a certain property came on board, give me a call, let me know the particulars, and over the phone, I'll give you the green light.
Gotcha. Ms. Jones, what say you?
My question is for.
Before you go, I was going to ask you: would you ever consider buying a house sight unseen?
No.
It feels. Is it a scary thing, or
yes?
Tell me what.
Not knowing the unknown. You don't know the unknown. For a new home buyer, starting out, we want to see the house. We want to go in. We want to see what size the bedrooms are. We want to see how big the kitchens are. We want to see how many bathrooms, what the bathrooms look like, what the backyard look like. Those type of things for new home buyers. That's what we look for.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry, you was about to say that.
How do you feel about that, Carlton? Like you being a realtor,
I deal with realtors and I deal with first time home buyers. Of course, the realtors. It's less to do. Of course, they're going to say go for it. But enough people don't listen to their realtors in terms of what the market is like. We work with them day in, day out. So they might think that we're just trying to rush them, hurry up and get this so they can hurry up, or he's trying to say go for a higher price because he gets more money. And it's really not like that. My job is to make sure I got a happy client at the end of the day. Because as a bad client, you don't want someone that's unhappy because you'll never get referrals and things of that nature. So I've given up so much on the transaction. I've covenanted money with closing gifts and things of that nature. Or if my client was short, I've come up. I think all realtors have. I don't want to say I'm just the only one. I know a lot of realtors will use out their own money to help out on a deal. But I like if I tell you is you got to do that first. And I understand the reason why you might want to look at it, this and that. And it's not the thing, but I want you to trust me. Trust me to say I know what I'm talking about. And the only way you're going to get a house is if we put in an offer sight unseen. And that's kind of a hard spill because then you looked at it your whole life or how long you've been waiting to get a house. And you look at it's going to be this. And then I come at you and your friends will probably tell you it's going to be this. And then I come up and with the other side, like, nah, it's not even done like that now. You got to go ahead and put the offer in first. They're looking like, whoa, And so it kind of pushed you in a situation where like, man, I don't want to be pushy. So sometimes they got to see for themselves. So sometimes, I'm going to go on 2-3 houses knowing that they won't get that house, and they have to see it themselves for them to believe and come to me, but like, hey, I I should have listened to you 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Well,
let's go.
yeah. Well, so from my perspective, it's a risk factor, right? So the
Mhm.
risk factor of the example I shared clearly. Um, I'm buying a house that can have all kinds of problems. I made an offer and all that good stuff. I bought another house. This one was a personal purchase,
Mhm.
sight unseen, but it was a new build, and I was able to see the floor plan. And they just didn't have a model where I can look at it.
Mhm.
So it's a risk. But where I think your example and the way you do this reduces the risk, and why people
Mhm.
should feel comfortable is because all you basically is saying make an offer.
Mhm.
So
You
give you
lose nothing.
time. You lose nothing because you don't have to. Mhm.
Actually, you do lose when you lose that because you need to hire a inspector to come look at the house. Okay,
Mhm.
you
That's
need
what I
to
was
have a home inspector, and the home inspector costs you $400 or $500 depending on the size of the house.
Well, that's a different thing.
But yeah,
So I guess I didn't understand that part. See,
uh-huh.
so if in fact I did, or Ms. Jones as a first time home buyer decides to trust you as you suggest on a sight unseen home, she goes, she puts the um, deposit down, you make the offer, she goes X amount of dollars above the asking price, so that way it entices the seller to accept
Mhm.
her offer. But then before using an inspector, before getting to that point, she actually then goes and sees the house.
Looks at the house, right?
It
Right.
says, "This is nothing close
Right.
that I wanted." Um, can she back out then, or it has to be the result of the inspection?
It has to be a little bit different because um, it's like how can I say this? Um, she can because
Will
you
she
can always
lose
have
her deposit though? Will she lose her
yeah.
deposit?
She is a chance she can depend on her excuse rate. The home inspection is guaranteed. You going to but you get paid, but you can't really say I didn't like the house because they assume that you did. Matter of fact, some people don't take sight unseen offers. I want to make sure it's good. But there are a lot of times with what's the name what's their name when investors, it's all about the specs of the house. I could care less. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna gut the thing in anyway. I'm gonna gut it out
Right.
anyway. It doesn't really
Right.
matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, you can say I don't like it. It's not one at all. But then it a relative on the other side won't. I want to make sure that you've seen it. Roman, have you
So
been through the
there's
house?
a big risk factor in that. Then
Yeah,
even
right.
because I think most require at least $1,000 down.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? When an offer is made, is that
It
right?
depends. I try to do it at 1%.
Okay.
Of things. So if we looking at $500,000 houses, I'm looking at 5,000. If we looking at 200,000, we're looking at 2,000. Doesn't have to be. There's no state law that says it has to be. But you want to be able to present a
serious offer.
right.
Yeah.
They taking you serious.
Yeah.
You're not buying a $2 million house and you got a $500 deposit down. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna happen. I'm not even looking at it because you're insulting me. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking more like $50, bro. What are you talking about?
I have another
Some people.
question. So say you've been approved for a home for $360,000.
Okay.
And you don't want to use the whole $360. What's the wisest thing you can do when buying a house? Say you want to look for a home that's cheaper than that, but you've been approved for $360.
Mm-hmm. You can look for home.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
You can. That's because they give you a top number, 360. Doesn't mean you can't look at 300,000. You don't have to go to the 360. If you find one at 300 or 280, whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's even a chance you can go over that 360, 365, 370, because there's not that much difference between 360 and 370. People here, it's $10,000 difference. What are you talking about? It's nothing different. But if you take that difference, that $10,000, and divide it by 360, which is 30 years, which is how long a note is, comes out to $3-4 a year. So at 360, you might be paying $1,500 a month. At 370, you might be paying $1,510 a month. You know what I'm saying? It's not that much difference. So he's like, oh, okay. So it's all about you don't want to got to pay the note, Miss Jones. You know what I'm saying? And you and the bank want to make sure you're going to pay it for 30 years with no problem. I don't want to hear about any problems. Even though I look like I might care you care this and that, I want you to pay my mortgage before you pay anything, including your child, your mama. I don't care none of them people. Even though I'm gonna tell you I like them, I want to make sure this check is coming in. You know what I'm saying? That's why your credit score is so good. People who have higher credit scores are used to paying their bills on time.
Right.
So therefore, that's why there's less risk with them. But you want to look for a house that's good for you. It might be $280. So I wouldn't have you spend $360 when you can pay $280. It's cheaper at $280. You know what I'm saying? Some people, it also gains value over time. So your property is always going to gain value. It should gain value. It doesn't always gain 90% of the time or more. It does gain value. Some go faster than others. It's kind of different factors of why you want the house. Did you want the house as a primary residence? Or are you trying to say, hey, I'm going to buy this home, sell it next year, take the equity, and then do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Or am I trying to flip a home? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm buying it low and selling it high. So it depends on what your situation is with that. As they say in the original thing where the guy went $25,000 over list price, that's unusual. I mean, in a market where there's very few houses on the market, and like Arizona is a super hot state right now. Properties are lasting hours, not days. If you want to get ahead of the curve, everyone's coming $10, $15, $20,000 over list price. Everyone. Okay. And so what you got to do in that situation is got to be competitive. If you're not in there with they're not looking at it. The fact that it's cash, I'm going to look at it though, because I know cash saves me money. Okay, it's a cash deal. So I might have 20 offers on my table. I'm going to put the ones that's cash over here because I want them first because they're going to cost my client less money. And then I got the other ones lined up. You know what I'm saying? So I might take a lower cash, even though the financing one was higher. You know what I'm saying?
So just to be clear with the cash aspect of it, you're talking about cash as a form of down payment and
whole thing.
The whole entire mortgage, the whole entire sale.
Right. Okay. Right. So yeah, and it was wild because if you took a cash full of money, shoebox full of money to a closing, and like here go 300,000. You know what I'm saying? They're not allowed to take that. It has to be. They have to have some type of paper trail to it. So you're gonna have to go to a bank and get a cashier's check or something like that. So that's this thing is cash. You know, it's a check but it's still cash. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, but that's what happened in some of these cash. When they come to the table, they'll have a figure. Mr. Crispin, you need to come to the closing table with, $355,618. We want you to wire it from your bank to my bank. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to come in here with 300 because you're just getting robbed and security issues and things of that nature. But more importantly, Uncle Sam want to know where that money come from. You know what I'm saying? Because if it comes from ill-gotten sources, I can't take it. You know what I'm saying? If I know you're a drug dealer, I can't take that money. Or they're not supposed to take that money, I should say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's how that would go. Great question, Miss Jones.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Roman Crispin of Real Estate and Then Some. You're watching me on UrbanSmartNetwork.com.
Are you ready for the next level in social networking? Let the UrbanSmartNetwork.com give you the opportunity to redefine your social networking experience. Host all of your news feeds from a single place. Dominate social media with UrbanSmartNetwork.com's one-click technology solutions. UrbanSmartNetwork.com is an outstanding platform designed for business owners and entrepreneurs to achieve optimal productivity. Join UrbanSmartNetwork.com now, one of the fastest growing social media platforms.
And I know you are a realtor from the DMV area, Arizona, and California. How can I say this? Is the clients a little bit different based on states because of, like, say for instance, one of your clients should they be concerned about, like, when they get in the house, is the location prone to natural disasters? Like, is that stuff that people need to, look at before buying a home or purchasing a home?
Yeah, well, your realtor should help you all that. We have certain things. We know, if your house is in the track of the airlines, you know what I'm saying? So, on the flight path, your house is over top of a flight path. No one wants to hear flights taking off all day and your house is over, right? Exactly. So a realtor will know. We'll look up a house. They see they like this house, and we'll find out, the information about that area. They'll warn us. This house is 1/4 mile close to the airport. So yeah, it might be across the flight path. You know what I'm saying? So we'll take the information and then get that to you for you to sign off on it. I'm letting you know it's on the flight path. Are you cool with that? Oh, I just love the house. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. That way you can't come back later and say, hey, I'm about to sue you, Carl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Right.
and things of that. Landfill's the same way. You know what I'm saying? You might not know it's a landfill a block, or it was a landfill 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They built it on top of land. But how would you know if you wasn't there from 50 years ago? Right? So we all get like what's called public report of what was there before the house was there. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, that's how, or it might be a low-lying area. It was, but now they built it up, but it's still low-lying. So when it has a deep rain, it'll flood. You know what I'm saying? When I first came back to DC, I had flipped a property over off Montana Avenue and came in one of those situations. We had a real bad flood storm, right? But normally that house was considered not to be a problem. And the water came in when I was there. When it came in, the water just came in. It was crazy. I mean, it had been raining before, but the way the water came in. And so I'm talking to one of the neighbors who had been there for 50, 60 years. He's like, yeah, they always did that. That was what it was known for. They put some improvements over the hill so it doesn't really happen too often. But over time, though, it's only going to hold that much water. After it gets over that, it's going to come down and it's going to go to your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, but you didn't know that. I mean, that's not in the public report. You know what I'm saying? It has a history of, you can do a lawsuit claim and find out what your house was, anybody's filed an insurance claim on that house. That's called a clue report. You know what I'm saying? If you pay the insurance company to see if anybody had a claim on that house. But say I asked Roman. Roman has a contractor. His nephew, a guy named P, is my guy. Anybody need a good contractor? Shout out to P. Let's get with me and I'll tell you what. But P, I forgot why I mentioned P. Oh, so they'll come out. That's because I know P. I might not go through insurance. I might just have P look at it because P Don can do it. Hey, P, go take a look at this, and P's not gonna call and say, hey, I did this and that. So you'll never know if that leak was there. So you can't trust 100% of a clue report. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's different situations, but you'll be known to everything that house has to do. You know what I'm saying?
So is it wise to invest in flood insurance just in case, even if you're in a home in an area that's not prone to flooding, but say something happens, like I'm just thinking of Texas for perhaps, that state didn't never had no ice storms and stuff like that. And look what happened. Almost everybody's home, pipes busted, floods galore. And I know a lot of people did not purchase home insurance for flooding. So, a lot of times I know a lot of homeowners that have these issues, and you ask them, did you get flood insurance? They're like, no. And I'm like, oh.
It depends on the cost.
Okay.
I used to live in New Orleans. So a lot of people know this on my thread from New Orleans. And when you live close to the water, you know what I'm saying, you're surrounded by water in Louisiana. So it's a requirement. You can't get that house without flood insurance.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But in states where it's places where it's not mandatory, you still can get it, but it's the cost. You know what I'm saying? It's insurance. So they say if you want to pay that cost for over 50 years and you ain't never had a flood, you know what I'm saying, just to feel protected, hey, go at it. But some people start cutting and costing corners and things of that nature because bills are getting tight. The first thing is going to be something we don't need, man. It ain't flooded, man. Flood, we'll get rid of it. And usually when you get rid of it, that's when it comes.
Right. That's why I asked.
Right. But yeah, you will get that. And a good realtor will always point you in the right direction. And you know what I'm saying? Of what you're going to need for this house. You're not going to go into it blind. Like, oh, I didn't know this. You know what I'm saying? Unless sometimes some people use realtors who are just new to the game, but because they're their friend, they want to give them business and they don't know a lot of the questions to ask. And so therefore they get tricked into it. I always tell people, I'm understanding it's your friend, but this is the biggest purchase of your life. And you want your friend to handle who has no experience. Or would you want somebody like me who's been in the 17 years, w's been through this, and this? You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't mind working with your cousin or whoever that might be. You know what I'm saying?
Quick question. So, what would you advise, especially new home buyers? What homework should they do on their own to help you out even more as a realtor, especially when you're trying to convince them to potentially buy a house sight unseen?
Well, to answer your question, I meet with all my clients before we go out, and so I kind of know what they're looking for before by the end of the first day. You know what I'm saying? I see the time frame, things of that nature, but I'm also going to explain what type of market it is because I don't want to be hustling backwards per se. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you thinking that this is 2 years ago where you might can take as a negotiator, you can come in asking 400,000, but we can offer 375. You know what I'm saying? All you're doing is wasting some people's time with that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to tell them what's going on. I don't want that type of surprises come up in it. So my clients will know they're educated just as I am when we walk into a house. You know what I'm saying? What the plan is.
So I know there's certain things. That you can't share, right?
Yeah,
that you can't like schools and stuff like that. Would that be something that you would recommend that they do on their own?
Yeah. Well, yes and no, because a lot of times you don't know what house you like. I don't want you looking at a house in this part and then looking at the schools in that area, and then we go to way on the other side of town and you see a better house. It's like, man. Okay, so it's like, man, it's how can I say it? It's always every time with you, I lose my words with you. I just feel like choking you. You know what I'm saying? I forget my train.
Hey, man, don't be talking to Miss Jones like that. What's wrong with you?
I lost my. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I lost my train of thought. They do make me mad sometimes. But I'm an educator. That's nothing they can do. I would tell them about school. I don't want to look up school districts. I want them to like the house for the house, not the school district. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what if they tell you that's one of the most important things for them is to select before they select a home? Yeah.
So I'll give them a website that has the letter grades for all the schools in there, and then they want to pick in that area. That's fine. I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's only when they go over their friend's house after they close on their house, 6 months after they close, they go to their friend's house and be like, "Oh, I like this house. I wish Carlton showed me this house." Then you said you wanted to be over there. You know what I'm saying? But the school's old system was good over here too. Yeah, but but at the same time, good schools are going to cost you more money too. You know what I'm saying? So you might go more bang for your buck when the schools aren't that good. You know what I'm saying? Or some people go to private schools, so school is not an issue.
Right.
So
Are you ready for the next level in social networking? Let UrbanSmartNetwork.com give you the opportunity to redefine your social networking experience. We are a generation that is counting the minutes of each day to get things done. This means that we need to find solutions that help us handle many of our daily challenges in a functional environment. Be it for business or pleasure, you can configure UrbanSmartNetwork.com to give you the most reliable social engagement, live stream programs and concerts, while you also look for the latest news worldwide. Think of UrbanSmartNetwork.com as the ultimate social networking headquarters that help you save precious time. Dominate social media with UrbanSmartNetwork.com's one-click technology solutions. You can take advantage of UrbanSmartNetwork.com platform in order to conquer social media and post all of your news feeds from a single place. UrbanSmartNetwork.com is an outstanding platform designed for business owners and entrepreneurs to achieve optimal productivity. Click the link below and get a free membership. Join the ultimate social network, UrbanSmartNetwork.com.
I had a question though, and I was probably gonna get into a discussion on it about lost opportunities. I've known a couple people. One guy in particular, who I'm thinking of right now. This guy had he was a gifted piano player. I mean, he played his piano because his parents made him take piano. But he never liked it. But he was gifted. I'm talking about like protege type thing, And he does it. He goes against his parents' wishes and never gets music to try to. After his parents died, and then he decided to take up music. And then he felt like he's seen what they had. But they didn't know who he was anymore. He was past the game, and he felt like he just wasted his life because he chose, being hard-headed, things of that nature. He felt he gave something away. I was wondering, have any of you ever gave up a situation or had come into a situation you wish you had did something but didn't do it, and it turned out for the bad, or it could turn out for probably one of the best things I ever did, or things like that. It was a movie. a while ago. And the guy said, "Wasted talent. That's the worst thing you can do in life. Wasted, be waste. Don't be wasted talent." You know what I'm saying? What's your opinion on that?
So, well, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Well, with me, my missed opportunity was, and it was, a while ago when I was a little bit younger. I auditioned for a singing group.
Really?
They were going to perform, and but it was a producer that one of my girlfriends, she knew, and one of the songs that they were going to perform was going to be a song on a soundtrack. I believe it was for Michael Jordan. It was something I can't really remember all the details because it's been a while ago. I was like 17, 16 years old. But long story short,
yesterday then.
I passed up on that opportunity. I had to travel and go to New York, and listening to someone in the family, no, that's not going to work for you. You need to stay in school. You need to do this and do that. And long story short, the album, they did the girls, the group, they performed, they did the album, and it was successful at that time. But everybody branched out and did things that's in the industry. So that could have been an opportunity for me back then.
You wish you took it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you could really blow, Ms. Jones? You can blow?
You can blow. But I probably, even if I didn't become a singer then, I probably would have met somebody else in the industry. And that could have helped me become an actor or something else. I could have branched off on something else even bigger.
I say we got a lot of viewers here. Why don't you blow for us?
I'm about to say, when our viewers are going to hear your voice?
We'll do that on another show.
No, you're not ready. I'm put on the spot.
I might have some producers on my line. I don't know. I got any producers out there?
No, not right now. But that was a missed opportunity. And like I said, I also danced and performed on,
Hey, Ms. Jones, this is a family show, okay?
No. No, it was clean. It was Dance Connection. I was offered to dance the Soul Train.
Yeah.
I missed a lot of missed opportunities, and it all happened in my younger, days of my younger age. So I'm kind of upset I missed out on that.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah.
Mr. C, I know Mr. Ron, so I probably know what story he's probably gonna hit with.
Yeah, I used to ball a little bit. I was AI before AI. Carlton, you can co-sign on that.
This is a nationwide. They might not know who AI is.
Allen Iverson.
Roman was a high school, my high school basketball star, and I was just asked. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you tell the story. Go ahead. Tell me who you are and what you did.
So I played. I pat the ball a little bit, and I had quite an ego as a result. I had a couple of small schools reach out to me for college. One in particular that, in hindsight, I wish I would have followed through on was FAMU, and I was a little appalled and pissed that they even came at me because I thought my talents was good enough to get into a big program, D1 program. I had very high aspirations. Georgetown, playing for John Thompson and the Hoyas, or the legendary Dean Smith in North Carolina. That's where I was expecting to get offers from. But ironically enough, or sadly enough, those calls never came. In the meantime, while I was waiting by the phone for those calls, I slept on some of the other opportunities and just lost out. So I totally regret not doing that. And I think a lot of that had to do with a lack. Just not making excuses, but at the end of the day, I was a young kid. Didn't have a whole lot of older male influence in my life. So to me, at that point in my life, I thought college, the only reason why I wanted to attend college was strictly for sports.
So you was a mama's boy, you're saying. You didn't really go outside a lot and things of that nature. You like cooking and cleaning and knitting and things. Saying.
You talking? I'm sorry. You talking to Miss Jones? Who you talking
I'm
to?
saying,
He said knitting, so he must be talking about me.
I mean, it was hard knitting when I was always on either the basketball team, football team, track team. You know, when you came and cheered me on.
So Roman, let me ask you this. Okay, back in your basketball days,
Yes.
what basketball player this day would you compare yourself as the younger you back then?
Oh wow. Today?
Yeah.
So today I'm trying to think who was kind of like a defensive hawk so I was basically mainly a two-way player, right? I played because I'm smaller. I was one of the smaller players. Well, not one of. I was typically the smallest player on the basketball court, and I used to cause havoc on defense. And I mean, I'll put so much pressure on the point guard that they would have to have another player on the team bring the ball up. But then I also, was very, very good on the offensive end too, mainly passing, setting up my teammates for the best shots. So I'm trying to think who's a defensive hawk today, and who also can bring it on the offensive end. So, I mean, I can go back a little further, which be Gary Payton, the glove. Carlton, you want me to tell you who he is? He used to play for the Seattle
Man, I'm Mr. Sports Center. I want to know every sport. I could tell you who was champion in any sport from, the time I was born to today. I'm a sports guy. But like I said, you people, show me how to do a crossover stitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what you show me. You know what I'm saying? Show me that little, but go ahead. But how come you didn't take it further? Because I know you were a great basketball player. How come you didn't take it further?
I had a big head, man. I mean, so once I didn't get those opportunities that I thought I deserved, I kind of became disinterested in competing or playing basketball at a high level. So, I ended up starting off going to Montgomery College, a community college in the Maryland area. And I soaked about it. I mean, I continued to play pickup ball, but I just gave up the whole organized ball, and because I was frustrated. So, but it humbled me in life, and so and that experience has actually helped me out tremendously in my professional career as I grew in corporate America.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay.
And the same with me. Never pass up opportunities.
Right.
Never. I'm never going to pass up opportunities.
Right.
And for you, C, do you have a story other than a woman you regretted not?
Oh, that could be a book right there. Hold on. That could be a book right there. That could be a book right there.
Exactly.
I mean, going on from that side, that's on. I think we all had people that we wish we had hollered at, or the opposite. Now, I wish I never hollered at short. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm just trying to think of somebody off the top of my head.
I know a few for you, but
What? No, you said it was a lot. I don't think it was a lot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? One or
He
two.
said a few.
Somebody back in the third grade or something. I mean, Roman keeps in touch with the third grade class. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I have other things to do, but off the top of my head, I can't. I think I'm saying I know. I wish I had did things of nature in school. Even in high school or in college, I really never really applied myself in college.
I know. We know you're a loser.
I was naturally smart, so at the same time, I got it the first. Unlike some people that was a little slower. But Miss Jones, it was. You wish you applied something because I've seen what you can do when you apply yourself. Because you see people who are less than you, and they're doing it. I have a friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name. I went to school with him too. Dude today is has a law firm. Got 4 or 5 locations in the state, and got TV commercials. The law firm is like that. I know him personal. You know what I'm saying? but also went to college with him. And I know dude. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know he was into law. It was like, we got out of school, graduated, and I went to did my thing. He did something else. We wasn't super tight, but we was cool. And to find out he was a lawyer shocked me because I've been in class with him. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't the brightest tool in the shed. Wasn't the sharpest. You know what I'm saying? However, I seen those people who just kept it going. You know what I'm saying? And didn't give up. I always admire people who everyone said they want to be a doctor or lawyer when they're in first grade. Roman didn't go to first grade, but most kids.
Yeah, I skipped it.
I taught second grade for those that don't know for a couple of years. And you asked, I had out of 18 kids, you asked them what do you want to be? I got 6 lawyers, 3 doctors, 4 ball players, rap star, things of that nature. But doctor and lawyer, for you to say that doctor and lawyer and then you actually become one years later, I take my hat off. You stayed with it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I see the hustle is real. I'm a hustler. I love the grind. For me, that's everything. So it's, I have that grind mentality. If I don't grind, if I don't do it today, we ain't eating. And that's, I think throughout my life, even in school, my people will tell you that I've always been like that. Carlton, I knew you was going to do what you're doing because you had a business at college and when you were selling T-shirts. Oh, okay. I was selling T-shirts because we ain't had no money. You know what I'm saying? It was a situation. I was like, when I went to college, minimum wage was $3.75 in Louisiana, where I was making like $12 in DC an hour for the same job. So you can't go from $12 to $3.75. You can't do it. The DC area pays more than salary. We've always had a higher minimum wage than a lot of other parts in the country. But it's hard. Can you do the same job? Would you take the job if you making $100,000 in DC, but you only making $30 in Louisiana? Would you take the same job?
No way, my brother. I would not be moving there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So it was like I can't do it. So I had to find a job that was going to allow me to earn DC money in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Only way to do it, like I sell. I'm a salesman at the end of the day.
Now you've always been a hustler. That's always one of the things I've always admired about you. That you're going to find a way to survive.
Oh, I got to. I mean, I know you admire me. I mean, your mother paid me to be your friend, so of course I know you admire me. You know what I'm saying?
You want me to tell you how much Barbara paid me to be your friend?
Whoa. My mother might be watching the show. She will.
I miss Prophet.
Anyway. So as we are there, I want to say that last part right there. We're about to get into another little part, but I just want to shout out my sponsors on this one. Everyone right now is on CMOS. CMOS is it right now. I have a partner of mine, Mr. Sean Hill, is the salesman for some black CMOS. Black CMOS is going out the show. Matter of fact, this Saturday over on Old Beltsville Road, he's having a CMOS giveaway, so you can taste it, but you can buy your things. Like I said, Sean Hill, he's on my Facebook. You can look him up. You can message me how to get him. I've done some podcasts with Sean in the past, but his CMOS is what's happening. My father is going through some medical challenges, and the CMOS has been tremendous. So that's my thing. I'm not a doctor, nothing like that. So, but CMOS, black CMOS, you know what I'm saying? Charcoal activated or whatever. But CMOS is what's up. So, look it up. Google it, find out what's going on. If you need to know, if you're in the DC area, you need to get that. Or even if you're away, I know Sean Hill can get that to you, okay?
Events are a great way for our members to connect, whether in person or virtually, at a designated time and place. Sign up to urbansmartnetwork.com and use our events feature to let others know about upcoming meetups, concerts, parties, conferences, or gatherings. With our one-click social media feature, you can invite anyone to an event, even people who haven't yet joined our network. Become an Urban Smart Network event creator today. It's absolutely free, only on urbansmartnetwork.com.
Cool. As we go into the last part of the thing, we're gonna get a little how can I say, a lot of oh, the story I heard. I don't know if I'm wrong in this situation. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. Um, if I can say that, would you ever date somebody or mess with somebody? In the beginning, it was cool, but y'all found out y'all was just not yoked. Not I shouldn't say yoked. Y'all wasn't
Compatible?
Compatible, yeah.
and compatible in certain things, but y'all going different ways. You know what I'm saying? She's going one way, I'm going the other, and nothing wrong with the way she's going, but her goals and my goals do not align. You know what I'm saying?
Define dating.
Right.
Somebody it could be your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? It could be
No,
your
okay,
wife.
no. The reason why I'm asking is, would knowing we're going in opposite direction, would I commit seriously to someone like that? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But would I continue? Would I have continue to be intimate with the person or casually seeing the person? Probably so.
Right,
Of course,
right.
in my younger days,
Well, you thinking?
Shout out to Bridget, by the way. Bridget, I see you, Bridget.
Hey, Bridget.
Who?
Roman just asked my question. Is that a girlfriend or like
A booty call.
how long in the relationship? Need more
You don't buy the
detail.
booty call, basically. I mean,
Oh, was a booty call?
if it's a booty call, Carlton, of course.
Oh, Carlton. Carlton. Was it a booty call or was it just
No, not like a booty call. More like a.
But that's what it's going to end up being, though. If you're saying we're going in different directions,
right? And
right,
you still
they're like for instance, as an entrepreneur, I know some people that hate what I do because I don't do it on a 9 to 5 lifestyle. So they try to. I mean, that's their hang up. They was like, I want somebody's 9 to 5. Like I might answer my phone at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, you're saying somebody who you're dating don't like your hours? Okay,
I'm just giving an example.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, if you can't take, why are they calling you at 11 o'clock? What they don't know is I got licenses on both coasts. So 11 o'clock here might be 8 o'clock on the West Coast, and that may be calling me about a housing situation. And 8 o'clock is not a late hour per se. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't like the fact that I was, in that realm. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, and say for instance, I was in a situation that way, the same situation, but once I knew what he was doing and the field that he's in, and he's like a business owner and he owns his own, and it's like you can't really get angry at somebody for their career, their lifestyle, their livelihood. Like at the end of the day, you might need to date someone who's just as busy as you are. Then y'all meet on certain days, certain times of the days or certain, or weekends. Okay, but it depends on your careers because like you said, Carlton, you're a realtor. Say if you meet somebody that owns, I don't know, I'm just thinking on top of my head, somebody owns an oil business or something, or company, and
Carlton will quit what he's doing
or I don't know, plumbing company, anything, I don't know, something happens, something busts, and it's like, okay, they got to get up at 2 or 3 o'clock and take care of this or something like you can't get angry because someone has to leave to do their job, do their work. I would be more upset as a female if you're leaving in the middle of the night to not go to work. You have to give me a reason. But if you're going to meet a client to get a house or a potential buyer, oh no, baby, go get that money. So you have to find somebody that's more like on your level of thinking of that, this is important. It's not about us kissing and hugging 24 hours a day. I got stuff to do.
Yeah. So I think that it's still it begs to be said to what you want, your goal at that point, right? So it's still some defining that needs to happen with this question, right? So you say we're going in totally different direction. It's still
let's say y'all was married and for at about 3, 4, 5 year mark, saying they want other things. They don't want the same thing you want in life. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at one time it was. Okay. Maybe tell me y'all was cool. At one time, we're gonna do. I want this. along the way, 5 years into it, I really don't want kids. I really don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Or and they still like the person, but they don't want to be in that situation. And so, they said, "Hey, I gotta go." You know what I'm saying? It's a situation. Would you? I mean, are you cool? It's like, hey,
No,
I'm not.
it's about my long-term goals, my long-term plan, right? So at the end of the day, if my goal is to get married, to have kids, and this person's not interested in that same in those same goals, then I'm gonna move on and find someone who is. But
right.
if it's at that point in my life and I'm not necessarily interested in that, and that person isn't either, and I know I will be eventually. I mean, yeah, we can still kick it. I just know I'm gonna do my best to keep from falling so deeply in love with that person that it becomes more painful to walk away from it when I feel I am ready to start a family and all that good stuff.
Sometimes you actually make good sense. You know what I'm saying? You got a little smartness when you know what I'm saying, a little smartness with them. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Miss Jones. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not married, so I'm going to ask the married people person, Roman. Say, for instance, like Carlton made a good point. Say you are married 5 years and you just not compatible anymore. You're not liking the same things. You're not like when you're home, you're like in the house, but y'all not there.
Yeah,
so to speak. So at that point, and you talk it out, and you still end up in the same situation every single day that you come home with that same person. What happens after that? Because a lot of times, some people do you stay married and be miserable, or do you get a divorce, or does somebody say, look, hey, I don't want a divorce, I'm not ready to divorce, I'm gonna stay with you because this person's providing for me, so I'm gonna stick it out?
I'm not staying in any environment I'm not happy, right? So, I mean, I know I said that so confidently with so much fiction, but at the end of the day, I know it's difficult to make that decision. But if I'm miserable and if I'm not unhappy, if I'm unhappy in a situation, I'm moving on. And I'm sure we all have been in those relationships where we've given our heart and all of our soul to trying to make that relationship work. But at some point, you might grow apart, and you start to despise the sight of that person.
I've never been there before.
You've been there before, huh?
No,
we have a guest here. We have the sponsor I just talking about for Black Sea Moss. This is Mr. Sean Hill.
What's up, boy?
Good evening.
What's up, bro? Hey, bro, you look so different without the mask, man. When we doing the podcast, you had the mask on, man.
Right, just let it go out for a while, man.
Tell us about the Sea Moss you got. I know you got a pickup on Saturday. And Papa, tell me about it real quick.
We're gonna be signing up reps, and we will be giving out samples of all of our sea mosses. We got a green sea moss which has chlorophyll in it. It's this one here. And we got a black one that has activated charcoal. And we have another one that we just had a pop up last week, and that joint was crazy. But we're gonna be introducing our new strawberry sea moss. The consistency is more like pudding. It's something that you've never tasted before. I mean, if you give a jar to your kids, they probably gonna eat the whole jar. I literally ate about 12 samples the other night. I was only supposed to have 2, but I couldn't stop going to the table. But we'll be signing up reps. We'll be showing people how to make 6 figures off selling sea moss. We'll show them how to make it from all the way having the raw product into having the finished product in the jars.
They need to show up to you. Even if they don't want to see more, they need to come holler at you how to make this 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's saying. Sean is a hustler too. Sean does everything.
They call me a serial entrepreneur. I got 7 businesses now.
This man is a contractor. He's a licensed barber. He has his own clothing line. I mean, the man does it all. I mean,
construction, marijuana delivery in California.
What about DC, bro?
I gotta wait for it when they change the laws. I'm gonna do it in DC and Maryland. I'm already branding here. You probably see my Weeds R Us shirts in different stores.
Okay,
so I'm already branding here.
That's what's
Hey, well,
up.
make sure. What time can they go? We got to get ready to end this up. End this out. Can you give me a time they need to come to get a
It's gonna
CMOS, or
be
what time
from
they go?
1 to 4. It's gonna be 1 to 4 over in Beltsville. If you check my page, the address is on there. I don't have it in front of me. But
right.
it's right off of Powder Mill and Route 1. If you turn right by that Exxon, go over that bridge, make the left right there, you're gonna see it's gonna be, I forget the name of it. It's like a storage place, but we diagonally across from that place right there. But if you check my page, you can find the address on there.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna get ready to get out here. I got shout outs to Mr. Jay Lassier, one of my New Orleans cats on here. That's my guy, Bridget. I see you. You know I love you, Miss Bridget Day. Carl Bernstein. That's my dude. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all come seeing us out on every Wednesday from 7 to 8. We're here. If you got questions for me, everybody knows how to get in touch with me and social media, things of that nature. You know somebody looking for a home or need help with the home, I'm here for it. All right, y'all. Take it easy.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.